Some keynotes. We will mute you all for now so there are no disturbances or distractions throughout the program. If you have a question at any point, please feel free to type it in the chat or raise your hand. You can wait until the end if you want. If you're listening in your car or somewhere else, please be careful and be aware of your surroundings. Please try to stay until the end because the question and answer session will be very helpful and enjoyable. Questions are a great opportunity to understand and share. Blessings will be given at the end of the program, so please stay tuned. I would like to share my experience of a time when meditation helped calm the mind in certain situations. My mom and I had the chance to go to Augusta for Peace in the Park program organized by Sister Kanishta and Brother Shwetank, which was a wonderful event. And while coming back, our flight was delayed and then canceled at the Charlotte airport. We did not have any options left that night other than to wait for the flight in the morning. That day, we sat in meditation, and that was very helpful because it calmed both my mom and me. So now I would like to introduce Brother Shwetank and Sister Kanishta. Both of them are physicians and have been with Brahmakumaris for many, many years. I met them when we did an online course a few years back, which I really do recommend for everyone. Such profound wisdom, and that too, free for everybody. What a deal, isn't it? So please introduce Brother Shwetank and Sister Kanishta.
Thank you, Rishita. I appreciate the introduction and introducing the event as well, and welcoming everyone. Thank you. So as I mentioned, we have quite a turnout. We warmly welcome all of you. Today, as you know, the topic is forgiveness. The title is Forgiveness, the Key to Happiness. Yeah, we were thinking quite a bit on what would be the best title for this talk. Earlier, we were thinking forgiveness as an antidote to suffering. Then we realized that someone has written a book with the same title. So we said we should change the title, and there we go. We have this new title of uh, forgiveness as the doorway or the key or the pathway to happiness. And that's the truth of the matter. If we can't forgive, then we cannot experience happiness in our lives. So there's a lot to learn, lot to understand about forgiveness. We'll try to take all of you through a process, a step-by-step process where we will explore what is forgiveness, why do we need forgiveness in our life, and then how to actually go about this process of forgiveness. So stay tuned. As Rishita was mentioning, everybody, yeah, is welcome to ask questions. Everybody is welcome to share, chip in. We would love to learn from you. We have always felt that when we do these sessions, it is not a one-way conversation. We welcome the insights that you all share because that way all of us can grow together. Yeah, so you are welcome to interrupt us at any time. You can raise your hand physically, but it is very difficult to see a physical hand. You can then raise it when you go into the participant section, and you should have that icon where you click on, and it will tell us that you have raised your hand and you want to say something. If you click on the chat, then you can even ask the question there. There is constantly the people who are looking at the chat box and making sure, and that is Brother Girish and Swati. They are checking on that and they will let us know if there are any questions. All right, everybody is nicely relaxed. Huh? Good. So Kanisha, would you like to take us through a little bit of meditation to take us into the zone of forgiveness? Yeah. So you had a reflection in your mind, yeah, for everyone to practice on, right?
Welcome everyone. And before we begin today's session, I would like you all to reflect on this topic of forgiveness. Just relax and think about a time in your life when you came across a situation where you did not forgive someone. Somebody did something to you and you were not able to forgive. Maybe you can come up with a list of situations, list of people, group of people, and out of that list, choose one. Just pick up one in this moment. And as you are thinking about that person, also notice what is the feeling that is coming up for you now. As you think about that person with whom you had some kind of encounter and you were not able to forgive that person, what is the feeling that is coming up for you? Now ask yourself this question: did this feeling serve you in any way? And how did that feeling impacted your life? So take a deep breath and bring yourself to here and now. Om Shanti. Okay. Om Shanti. Okay. So everyone was able to come up with something. I'm sure we all have someone or the other in our lives with whom we had some kind of encounter and we were not able to forgive that person. Yes, I see a text coming up. Yes, we will be talking about self-forgiveness also. We will be talking about that in this session. How to forgive the self and how to forgive everyone else. So in this session, we will be talking about what is forgiveness, why forgiveness is important, and how to forgive ourselves and others.
And
So if
as Kanishta, I think at some point we should also talk about how we can ask for forgiveness. Yeah, we always feel that we are the ones who are the victims, and we need um, to get forgiveness, if you will, from others. Somebody should ask us an apology, and or give apology to us. And often we forget that we can be equal partners in crime. Yeah, we could also be the one who has done some wrong to others, and it is probably time for us to ask for forgiveness from that person. Yes, so that aspect should also be hopefully be covered today. There's a lot to cover, but we'll make it happen today for all of us. And so, Kanisha, if you would like to start by telling us what is forgiveness.
Yeah, sure. So I'm going to read this definition, which psychologists usually use. They define forgiveness as a conscious and deliberate decision to release feelings of resentment or vengeance toward a person or group who has harmed you, regardless of whether they actually deserve your forgiveness. So this is the definition that psychologists use.
We can repeat it again. Say it again, Kanisha.
I'll repeat it. Forgiveness is a conscious and deliberate decision to release feelings of resentment or vengeance toward a person or group who has harmed you, regardless of whether they actually deserve your forgiveness.
That's a very comprehensive definition right there, right? Most of the times we feel as if we want to be judgmental, yeah, in whether the person deserves our forgiveness or not, right? Yeah, that's an important component. I hadn't thought of it earlier. Yeah, so thank you for sharing that. I was also thinking that often forgiveness is not as easy as just this definition, right? It you just mentioned, or the psychologist definition is telling us what forgiveness is, but what is it not? Because many times we think there are a lot of other things that can be confused with forgiveness. So we want to throw some light on that as well.
Yeah, so it's important to understand what is not forgiveness. So forgiveness is not about approving someone, or um, uh, or
You
you
mean
know,
doing somebody's wrongdoings?
yeah.
So if that person has done something wrong, you're
It
not
is
approving wrongdoing.
right. It is not about becoming a doormat and accepting everyone, whatever actions, whatever behavior. It's not about that. Forgiveness is more than that. Forgiveness is also not about even forgetting, because sometimes we say that, okay, I forgive you and I forgot. But still, if we look inside, we are still holding on to that negative energy of hatred or resentment or rejection or blame, or whatever, fear, anger. So this energy, even if we say that I forgot, but still that energy is still there. Because the moment you see that person, the moment you come across the same person after some time, that the same feeling comes up. So that means you have not totally forgotten, you have not totally forgiven that person.
Right. So that is pseudo forgiveness, pseudo forgetting. But also, I was thinking that why should we really forget? Yeah, because I think we'll be talking about this in a little bit. That that incident or that person came in our lives for a reason. Yeah, there is a purpose, there's a meaning to all that. And so, if we understand the bigger picture, the higher purpose to what happened to us, then we may not want to really forget it. Forgetting is not going to be helpful, really speaking. That's what I feel. In fact, remembering it and using that as a fuel to take us to a higher plane of consciousness is what will help us, right? Yeah.
So it's like if we say that we forget, that means it's kind of ignoring that feeling. So we have to actually deal with that feeling that came up when we came across that person. So we have to really see where we are, whether we are still generating that negative energy towards that person.
Thank you. In other words, we have to process this whole thing. Yeah, not just let it be some sort of a miracle of the universe to take care of it on its own, right? We're taking responsibility, and that's why we shouldn't forget. So again, to recap, it is not accepting, yeah, somebody's wrongdoings. It's not what was the other thing you said? Not allowing yourself to be a doormat, right? Is that what you said? Yeah,
Right.
that person can walk all over us. We are not condoning that action. It's not even that we think that the person should not be punished, right? Because if the person is not obeying the laws of the land, then he will be punished. He will have to go behind the bars. He might need many different types of sentences, right? He might need to pay a fine. He might be having to spend several years behind the prison and so on and so forth. But also there are the laws of the universe, right, which we can call as the laws of karma. If the person is doing something wrong, the laws of karma will also try to realign the energies, right? And so they will have to, if we don't have to use the word reward and punishment, but they will have to face the consequences of disturbing the energy of the universe, right, or the flow of the universe. So we are not condoning that. We're not accepting. We are not allowing ourselves to be doormats. Yeah, and also not forgetting. So forgiveness is more than all of this. Yeah, and truly, so I like what you were saying earlier, Kanisha, that forgiving. That word for if you break it down, forgiving.
Yeah, we are here to for we all are here for giving. But what happens is we everybody wants to take. So
We
this
become beggars.
yeah, right. It the word itself describes why we are here for our purpose in life. We all are here for giving, not for taking. And because we are all the time taking from everyone else, this um, there are conflicts, then there are clashes, and then this that then we have to forgive because we generate this negative energy because we go towards the wanting mode instead of giving mode. So we really need to remember.
I love that. So when we forget that our purpose in this life is forgiving, then we have to end up in this whole process of forgiving. Yeah. Because the universe makes us do that. Yeah, that's lovely. Thank you for sharing. All right. So now I think it's clear what is forgiveness. And yes, when we say forgiveness, it could be towards a person, it could be towards a clan, a community, a race, a nation. It could be against the self. I mean, for the self, right? Forgiving the self, forgiving. Sometimes we are not even sure who is at fault, and things happen. For example, say if you are going out of your house, right? As you go down the stairs, you slip and fall, and this was an important day for you. Say maybe it was the interview that you were waiting for. Now you slip and fall, or you trip and fall, and you break your leg, and you can't go for the interview, and they can't wait, they take somebody else. Yeah, it was not anybody's fault, really. Yeah, nobody else tripped you, nobody else pushed you or anything like that. You fell on your own. So there sometimes is not a particular person that you need to forgive. Yeah, because you can't blame that person, so you don't have that person to forgive. But you have to kind of not forget, forgive. um, how do I say,
Your
the
own action, sometimes you start blaming yourself, that why did I walk like that, that's why I, I fall down. So first and then you hold on to that guilt feeling, and you're not able to forgive your own self. And then you start talking to yourself in this way, I could have walked in a better way. You take the blame on yourself. So you have to be forgiving to yourself.
Right. But what I was saying that sometimes we don't even blame ourselves because we know that we were walking properly, but something happened. Then we try to blame, I don't know, the universe. We try to blame time. We try to blame some unknown, unseen forces around us. Yeah, some nebulous forces. So we sometimes are very proactive in blaming ourselves unnecessarily um, when it's not our fault really. And sometimes we blame everything. We try to search for something to blame, and Kathleen has mentioned here in the chat that we end up blaming the situation. Yes, we try to, yeah, blame somebody. And we sometimes think it is a form of karma coming back. Yeah, exactly. So all these things, so we sometimes blame our own past karma. Yeah. So there are a lot of things that we have to forgive, a lot of energies, if you will, or a lot of entities that we sometimes may be called, yeah, upon to forgive, right? Yeah. So forgiving the self, forgiving others, forgiving the situation, forgiving the universe. Sometimes we even blame God. So I don't know, forgiving God. Yeah, maybe. Yeah. Or forgiving everything around us. I mean, in other words, it's the positive energy that we have to create, right? Because if there is no forgiveness, I guess the word that would be the best antonym to forgiveness would be resentment, right? Yeah, so when we are not forgiving, we are holding grudges, we are holding resentment, and resentment is negative energy. And that's where we can come to why forgiveness. Because if we hold on to negative energy, and we have talked about it so many times in these sessions, and you're welcome to go back into time, back into all those sessions and listen to the tremendous energy that the bodies, that the mind sometimes creates of the negative energy that then destroys the body completely. So if you want to live healthy, you want to have good relationships, you want to enjoy life, then if you hold on to negative energy of any sort.
Yeah, because it is said, even psychologists say that this negative energy, it actually it turns on the stress response. That's the fight and flight response of the body. So if we continue to hold on to those grudges, we are continuously, that stress response is turned on. And chronic, if this is like ending into the chronic stress mode. So if you are in chronic stress, then the organs of your physical body, this physical body is not going to really function very well, optimally. So that's why it's very important. And then psychologists are also linking, the act of forgiveness, that if you do this forgiveness exercise, which we will be doing with you in a moment, if you do it in a constant, in a consistent basis every day, it's like an active process. You have to do it. It's not like one day you say that yes, I forgive, and then you don't do it. So if you do it in a consistent basis, then psychologists have noticed that the anxiety and depression, insomnia, all these things, they gotten reduced. So it's very important for us to really check whether we are still holding on to those grudges, feelings of hatred, and emotionally, how emotionally we are handling ourselves. Are we still holding on to a lot of emotional burden? Because this emotional burden really turns on the switch that I was talking about. So it's really, really very healing. We will also talk about healing, how forgiveness is so healing.
I was looking at not forgiving or having resentment or grudges as we are holding on to that situation of the past. And in a way, there were two types of scenes or visualizations that were coming for me. One was that as if I'm holding that person, that incident, that situation, yeah, on my head. And how long, that person could be 70, 80 kilograms of weight, and I'm carrying that person around throughout the day, throughout the night. Yeah. And that's not going to be a happy situation. My neck's going to hurt, my back's going to hurt. Yeah, that's what we do, right? Although it's not physical, but all in our mind we are holding on to that person, carrying that person. And I was also thinking almost as if we are dragging that person, like there's a chain between us and that person. And wherever we're going, say if you, for a moment I was just visualizing I'm going on a vacation, which we don't normally, right? We are so busy doing these kind of things. But think of someone is going on a vacation, right, to Bahamas, yeah, on the beach, and trying to enjoy, yeah, the beautiful day out there. And then you have this person chained to you, uh, who did something to you like 20 years back, and then you're trying to get into the water. Now you have to drag that person along with you. So in the process you're dragging yourself too. It is not going to be a happy situation. So throughout, we have now seen in positive psychology, in numerous countless research across the world, that when we create positive emotions like forgiveness, love, respect, kindness, then there is a tremendous benefit on the human body. Yeah, right. And I was also thinking when you were saying about that we have to have this forgiveness as a consistent practice. In a way, can why do we need to? I was thinking about that. First thing is that it is not that easy to forgive right away. All that has happened. Yeah, so in a way, it is kind of almost like chipping off little by little the dirt or the I don't know, like say the sculptor is has all these tools and he's trying to create a beautiful image, a beautiful sculpture. So he is chipping the stone away one blow at a time, and so with the hammer and chisel and all that. So similarly, this forgiveness process is also a slow process, step by step process. So it's not that I have forgiven today and I don't need to do anything else, right? Do you agree? And at the same time, what happens is we also end up creating new situations for ourselves. So even if we, for a little bit, hypothetically assume that we have been able to forgive everything of the past, but we are generating new situations for ourselves. We have to, do something. We have to process, the necessary positive energy to forgive that situation that has just gotten created, right?
Yeah, and we also have to check, throughout the day, how many times do we hold on to these grudges? It's not about just one particular situation on one person, but even on a regular basis. For example, if you are driving your car and somebody is on the left lane and driving very slowly, at that moment, what happens to your feelings? You hold on to the grudges, right? That, oh, this person is, why this person is driving so slowly. So these are the moments when you are really generating those emotional negative emotions for you, and those negative emotions are not really helpful for your body. So momentarily forgiveness, moment to moment forgiveness, not just consistent, but at the same time we have to keep checking, these little incidents that happen throughout the day. We feel those feelings, but at the same time we have to check, and immediately we should change it to a positive feelings. So by the end of the day we should see how many times this type of thing happened to me, and I was not able to forgive the person. Okay, that's okay. How many times I really felt that, okay, that's okay, that person is driving slowly. Maybe he's in some kind of stress. That's why he's driving slowly. Did I create that kind of thought? Did I have at that moment compassion for that person? Oh, poor person, maybe he's going through a lot. Let me give him the feelings of love. Let me give him the feelings of compassion. So did I do that? This is how, little by little, with constant practice, instead of blaming that person, we have to really shift our consciousness, shift our understanding, and accept the person as he is, and continue to generate positive emotions.
No, I love this what you said, that moment to moment, because if we don't do this moment to moment processing, then at the end of the day, at the end of the week, we'll have a lot to process. Yeah, so consistent basis, moment to moment basis of practicing forgiveness. And I see some very nice posts Yeah, and yeah, Vicky has said, when we don't forgive others, we keep them locked in our internal dungeon, which makes us have to be their constant jailer. So we are just as much in prison as they are. Yeah, so why imprison ourselves? Yeah, so then Girish says we may need to forgive from the heart. Yeah, for sincerely. That's so true. Lashonda says, let go and let God. Yes, we're going to talk a lot about letting go in a little bit when we talk about how to forgive. And then when Vicky again says, when you forgive others, you give yourself wings of peace. Yes. Yeah, you liberate yourself from the chains so you can fly, you can experience your true potential, yeah, your infinite capacity that you hold within yourself, which is all chained up, it's all locked up, which is all, it's now behind bars, yeah, behind those lock and key of your own mind. Then you can be liberated from all that and experience the true joy of life. Yeah, and then Lashonda says, I definitely agree, Vicky. Not holding to mental waste, get rid of it like physical waste quickly. Yeah. So yeah, like there are some places. Yeah, go ahead.
I think that's very important because unless you create space inside by getting rid of the waste, you won't be able to generate the feelings of love and compassion. If you want to generate the feelings of love, compassion, acceptance, all these positive feelings, you have to have the space inside. Your inner space has to be clean and really you have to have a lot of space. If inner space is occupied with negative things, you have to have the space, right?
Like you can't have creativity, right? If say you want to do some good, like say your boss has given you a project to work on and you're not able to get the right ideas, it's important to understand why, because where will there be space for creativity in the mind? The mind is already occupied by the negativity that we are holding for so long, right? Yeah. All right. And I was just thinking that, one is these big things that happen to people, right? And history is replete with examples. If you look at the Holocaust, there's the survivors of Holocaust and what they went through, and those people who died. There was the Tibetan genocide, then there was this African genocide. Millions of people were killed. Then there's example of Nelson Mandela, right? And I'm sure everybody knows, for 20, 30 years, something really long, he was imprisoned. But when he came out, he had total forgiveness in his heart for all the people who had done wrong. They robbed him, they, as something like that. I can't remember exactly what he said, but something of the sort that they could imprison me physically, but not my mind, or they could torture my body, but not my mind. Yeah, the mind was always free. So you think of it, how um, by doing that, if you see what what was the future of Nelson Mandela, what became his future. He went on to lead the whole of the country, became the leader of the country, and now the whole world knows him. I guess he was also given the Nobel Prize of Peace at some point. So he could have easily held on to the resentment that those people robbed him of his youth, of his young age, where he could have done so much, and that resentment would have not allowed him to experience the true joy of life. Yeah, to be able to harness the energy of the universe, if you will, to become creative enough to express his true potential, and so on and so forth. Yeah. So one is these kind of big things. There are so many stories, yeah, of people who have killed others, and the victims, yeah, of these kind of genocides or murders, yeah, their families, and how they have risen above, what we in the world think that it is impossible to forgive such heinous acts, and yet they have risen to forgive. This one story that comes in my mind was this lady from Rwanda, became very famous. Yeah, this whole story of how during this big genocide, there was one of those military people who came to her house, who killed all the family members, and then he used some sort of a sword or knife or something to kind of wound her horribly, put cuts all over, and then tied her up with chains or something and threw her into the river to die. But somehow, miraculously, she escaped and she was able to save herself. And then there's a picture, or the video shows both of them sitting, the killer and that lady sitting and chatting, and they are now very good friends. Isn't that awesome? And if you look at the speech by the Rwandan prime minister, who said that after such a horrible genocide, the only way we can move forward is if we forgive all those who have done wrong. And the whole country, if you now look at this country, they say Rwanda is one of the most developed countries in Africa. How could that happen? They could have remained stuck in where they were. That lady could have remained stuck in where she was. Yeah. But she chose to forgive. She chose to forget. Yeah. Or not necessarily forget the whole thing, but forget the bad, because she was sharing what exactly happened. This gentleman was sitting next to her. Yeah. On the sofa, right? You saw that video too, Kanishka. I was thinking earlier to show that video to all of you, but we have another video to show at the end. And so she's sharing this entire story, and he's sitting next to her. They've become friends.
Yeah.
So
And
think of, yeah,
I see Vicky has shared a beautiful quote from Gandhi. She says that the weak can never forgive. Forgiveness is the attribute of the strong.
yes. See, yeah. So see, on one hand, this kind of a situation. Yeah, can you for a little bit visualize this? I don't want you to get into stress mode. This is a wonderful time that you're enjoying, um, but for a moment, I invite you, just for a few moments, feel as if this thing happened to you. Would you be able to forgive the person who did it? We don't forget about all that. We don't even forgive our friends who forget to wish us on our birthday. Yeah, tell me the truth. Yeah, don't we hold resentment against our friends and family members? We call our brothers and sisters back in our respective countries where we've come from and say, oh, why did you not call me on my birthday? You didn't wish me. Now I'm not also going to call you on your birthday. Yeah. Or if a spouse misses the wedding anniversary, yeah, oh, you forgot that? You didn't order a million roses for me. You didn't get this best meal in a fancy restaurant for me. You didn't get me a diamond necklace. You forgot my anniversary, our anniversary. What? Yeah. Yes, see, we hold resentment even for the most useless, most mundane things in life, right? Yes or no? Tell me the truth. Who has the courage to say the truth? We hold grudges for simple things, simple things. Yeah. You didn't do this for me, I won't do this for you. And here we're talking about genocide. We're talking about the entire family being killed, and you being almost killed, and you survive, and then you come back with the power of forgiveness. Yeah. What kind of person would that be? Huh? And what kind of life would ours be when we can't even forgive the smallest, the most useless things, which really have no meaning in the grand scheme of things? Agreed? Let me change this gallery view, and let me ask everyone, yes or no? Oh, why did this person say this to me? Ah. Oh, this person didn't even smile at me. I gave such a sweet smile. That person didn't smile at me. I'm not going to like this now. I'm not going to, yeah, talk to this person ever. Yeah, yes, yes. Don't we do that? Yeah, Kathleen is saying something. Let me unmute you.
I never expect the little stuff to go well. So I have a real easy time forgiving the small stuff. I really do, because I want to be forgiven when I forget, because I am going to forget your birthday. But anyway, but that big thing, that took a lot. That must have come, like you said, in doses. She had to have gone through a lot to have been able to forgive what she forgave. That's quite amazing.
So my question to all of you, I agree with you, Kathleen. Thank you. Yeah, and I appreciate you sharing that. Yeah, you're able to forgive the small things in life. Yeah, yeah. But honestly, I've seen 90% of us. We still hold grudges for. If you go out and you see a flat tire and you start grudging about that, you start complaining about that, and you say, oh, why is God not helping me? I have this very important date, we have very important thing to go for. We do all these things, consciously and consciously many times. And those who don't do it, thank you very much for not doing. But those who are doing, we can sit and reflect on why do we do. But on the other hand, when we look at such big things, yeah, you see, what do you think now? Let me ask you this question. What would be a better situation? A person not forgiving, even the most heinous thing like that, or forgiving? At the end, for that woman, uh, what would be a better state? If she has forgiven and moved on, or she's holding on to it for the rest of her life? Agreed? Yeah. Forgiving is the way of life. That's the truth of life. It's up to us whether we forgive or not forgive. The choice is ours. If we choose to forgive, we are the ones who are benefited. If we don't choose to forgive, then we kind of roast ourselves in that negative soup, roast or whatever, we cook ourselves to death in that negative soup. Yeah. But also, I feel, Kanisha, just for a moment, before we go on to how to forgive, I also want to say that many times, yeah, this um, not wanting to forgive has become such a part of our psyche. It is almost as if it has gotten inbuilt into, the way the society has created this me culture. Yeah, that it is all about me, and the whole world needs to revolve around me. Uh, yeah, agreed. And that is very damaging too. So somewhere we have to figure it out for ourselves, that if we don't forgive, we are the ones to lose. And also, yes, I wanted to say that in the process, we are also destroying the other person, right? So if we want to destroy ourselves, destroy the other person, then don't forgive, hold that resentment. Yeah.
Yeah, and also there has to be this understanding that the person who is behaving with you in that particular way which you don't like, maybe that person's behavior is because the person himself is hurting from inside. This is a very important understanding that comes with time, that the person himself or herself is going through a lot in his or her life. There is some kind of frustration. Because of that, the person is behaving in that particular way. So
Right.
that,
Good. Aisha, this would go into how to forgive, right? Shall we now move into that? So clearly, we have understood about what is forgiveness and why to forgive. Is there any question whatsoever with this?
that
I
was not approving to what people people are doing. It's not about approving them, but it is about letting go, and that's what we're going to talk about now.
Yes. So, how to forgive? And I liked, Kanisha, you have come up with this, use the word forgive, Forgive, and you have come up with something for each of these letters, right? So you want
Yeah.
to uh,
So we can,
want to tell all the seven, or seven or six
yeah, there are
letters?
seven letters
Yeah,
and
seven.
seven letters. So F stands for first me. First me, I should be the one to forgive. Mm. So first me, and we will talk more about it. And so first me, and then let me see what I have written. I myself forgot. Yeah. And then O stands for oneness. That means we all are one. It's not that we all are one and we all are interconnected. That means the kind of energy that I am generating is going to impact others as well. So if I am holding on to the grudges, I am holding on to the negative energy, then others will also be impacted because of my energy. So we are together. So that is the understanding, oneness. The
Uh,
third, the third is R. R stands for taking the responsibility. That means I am responsible for my own feelings. Whatever feelings I am holding on to,
why
I
don't you
am.
go quickly onto that? Then we go individually into it. Huh? Yeah.
R stands for responsible. G stands for giver. I stands for innocent. V stands for virtuous, and E for empowerment.
Awesome. All right. Thank you. Yeah. So shall we go back to the F? F
First,
is first me. Yeah. So in this me culture, we are living in this me culture. Everything should be me, me, me first, right? If and there is a queue of people waiting for the ice cream truck, I should be the first to get it, right? Everything is me, 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 right? In this today's world, then why not me in taking responsibility, or be being the person who forgives first, right? Kanisha, that's what you think too?
yeah. And we, the founder of this organization, we always see him as our role model. And he was the one who would always keep children first in everything. But whatever needs to be transformed, he would make sure that he would be the one who would bring about the transformation in himself.
Yeah, by children you mean the students of the organization, right? So
Yeah.
whoever, wherever they would come to him to learn, yeah, and everybody was so impressed, if you will, and so inspired by him, because for anything that was negative or anything that had to be faced, uh, negative things had to be faced, he would say, I'll be the one to face them first. And if there's anything good, then he would share it with the students first, you first. Yeah.
And even
So
little things, whatever tasks need to be done, because it was a big, there were so many people he was taking care of. So whatever things needs to be done, he would be the first one to initiate it. He would not ask anybody to do the work, but he would be the first one to start it. And then when others see him doing that, they will all come together and get the work done.
So similarly, in a way, in this context, because many times when things go wrong, it is a fault of both parties. Yeah, many times, right? It could be 50-50, both parties' fault. It could be a combination, right? There's 20, 80, 70, 30, whatever. And in that situation, we always feel that the other person should ask for an apology first, right?
Yeah, why should I go and why should I ask for forgiveness or give, or why should I forgive the person? He should come to me and he should say sorry to me, right? That's what everyone is expecting. There's a lot of expectations. So when there are a lot of expectations, then it's difficult to forgive. So we have to let go of all those expectations and be the first one to accept whatever the person did. We need to understand that, to accept the person.
Yeah, in a
Accept.
way, asking for apology is also really a step towards forgiveness.
Yeah. So there are two things here, right? Yeah. One is asking for forgiveness, and another thing is to forgive the person. So there are two things here. Both are important.
So unless you ask for forgiveness too, that you have to take the responsibility and be the first person. Yeah, let me be the first person to ask for forgiveness, and also me be the first person to give forgiveness. Yeah. Do you think that's very difficult? Any comments?
How many of you think that it is hard for me to ask for forgiveness?
Because it could be our fault too, and it could, depending on how you look at it, um, we always hope that it is the other person's fault, but there could be a big chunk of our fault for that situation going sour. How can I let go of my ego and my arrogance and all that I'm holding on to, and say, you know what, I really need to ask for forgiveness, and I also need to forgive others. Yeah.
So really speaking, forgiveness is about letting go. So what is forgiveness? It is about letting go. And we all have the power to let go. We need to remember that this is actually, we all are hardwired to be compassionate, to be forgiving. Like we say that God is always forgiving, and we are children of God. So we also carry the same genes. So we need to remember that I need to forgive others. It's so important because that is in my genes, and we tend to forget that. So as we do meditation, the practice of meditation actually helps us to connect with our true inner nature. And our true nature is to forgive others and to forgive the self. It starts from us. So we need to forgive ourselves, and then we have to make that natural. Like I was giving the example of the person driving the car very slowly. So we have to bring this into our nature, that irrespective of whatever the person or whatever the situation I am in, I will stay connected to my true inner nature.
Wonderful. Yes, agreed. Thank you. So now we can move on to the second one. Yeah, that is responsible art for responsible.
Oneness, about oneness.
Oh, sorry. Yes, I'm jumping the gun. Yeah, oneness and yes, yes. So uh, actually, from quantum physics point of view, right? You want to say a little bit about that?
Quantum physics is now really changing our perception. Everyone's perception is changing, because even the science, the quantum physics is telling us this about the inseparability, that we all are connected. See, we all are now in our homes. Everyone is staying home this during this lockdown. But even if we are physically separated, this word social distancing, we all are distant, but the consciousness, who we are, this is very important to understand. Our consciousness, we are pure consciousness, and we all are connected to each other. This is what we learn in meditation, that we are not this physical body that we see with our physical eyes, but we are beyond this physicality. We are pure consciousness. We are energies. Everything is energy. That is what quantum physics is telling us. Everything is energy, and we all are connected to each other. So if I generate negative energy, what I am doing is I am not only harming myself, but I am harming so many people, because everyone is connected to me. It's like a chain. If I am creating negative energy, everyone else is going to be affected. So
And
it's,
my entire family is going to be affected.
yeah, the entire world is my family.
Yeah, that's true. But if we don't want to think of the whole family, if we are in a very limited state, then it's our immediate family that's going to be affected if we don't let go of our negativity, right? And I was also thinking, many times we feel that I hear about this from many people, that when we are forgiving, we are doing it for ourselves because it's very healing for the self. Yeah, which is great. Yes, it's very healing for the self. But what about the other person? So we say we don't care about the other person. Yeah, don't we? Yes, no. He was the person who did all the wrong. I don't care about that person. I'm forgiving that person because I care about myself. I want to heal myself. Do you have that thought? Many times people have that thought. People say that. Yeah, even if they don't say it, they'll have that thought in their mind. But to understand that if we don't serve that person somehow, yeah, because when we talked about it, when you're liberating yourself, you're actually liberating the other person too. So you rise to your full potential, that person also rises to his full or her full potential. And if you don't let that person rise to his or her full potential, you cannot rise either. So if that person is stuck in his negativity, you cannot emerge out of that negativity because of this connectedness. Isn't that interesting? I had this realization not too long back. Mhm. I have to somehow, because of this now understanding of inseparability, of this oneness, this connectedness, that I have to do everything I can to serve that other soul. Because only if that other soul rises beyond his or her negativity, is served in that capacity, can I reach my true potential too. Yeah?
Yeah. Quantum physics actually talks about three things. One is the principle of uncertainty, then the principle of potentiality, and the principle of inseparability. And this is really, these three concepts are really very important to understand, so that we can connect to our pure consciousness, and we can relate in that with that consciousness, we can relate it with others, and that will help not only ourselves, but it will help the entire world. The entire world will be impacted because of the change that we make in our consciousness. The shift of consciousness is very important.
Thank you. Yeah, that's wonderful. So shall we go further?
Yeah, so our
But I was also thinking in a way, Kanishta, when yeah, yes, yes, yes. Let's go further. I don't want to because there's not too much time left. Let's go to the next. Responsible.
yeah. So I am responsible for my own choice. And we have been talking about since the beginning that it's up to me, what do I want to choose. And Shutank has been giving the example of Nelson Mandela, and also the concentration camps, especially this person, Victor Frank, right? Frank,
Frank, Victor
yeah,
Frank.
right. He was in the concentration camp, but what he did was very different from what others did, because he understood that he has a choice. He has a choice. Either he can keep suffering, or he can just change the way he he thinks. So that's what he chose, right? He was able to forgive everyone, and that really helped him to come out of that concentration camp. He
Right.
understood responsible for his own life. He's responsible for making his own choices. Whatever he chooses, that's what he's going to get in life.
Yeah, and you see, he went through four concentration camps actually, and the Auschwitz, the main one, the death camp, the worst of the worst. And he wrote this book later on. Many of you probably know, Man's Search for Meaning. Yeah, so you know there is a purpose. There's a higher reason for that situation coming to us. Often when it is that big a situation, we are not able to reconcile with the fact that there is still something there for us to learn from. Yeah, but if like him, what he was able to do was to search for meaning in that suffering. And he realized that all those people who have the desire, the feeling, the hope to find that true meaning within that suffering were able to survive, and rest all perished. Yeah, they lost hope. There were so many stories of that he wrote, of people who would kill themselves. Yeah, who couldn't take that torture, who couldn't take that hunger and all the atrocities that were being done on them. There were people who would run into these electric fences, so that they can be electrocuted and they would die. They would purposely try to run so that the guards would shoot them dead. Yeah, and but why was he able to survive? Because he was searching for the meaning in that suffering. So, in other words, yeah, even Dr. Thangam has written that first we need to forget the situation and people who were part of it, and then forgive. The situation is one of the script written in my drama of life. And why is it written? That's so true. Why is it written? But I also need to focus on the bigger script where my role is important, a bigger mission. So there is a story in that story for that is waiting for me to kind of uncover, yeah, to discover, yeah, to explore, to understand. Yeah, and so if we enter into that with curiosity, with with an open mind, and with a clear focus that I need to find meaning in this suffering, then we will be able to handle it, we will be able to forgive. And here I was thinking of two things. One is things that have happened in the past, say 20 years back, and we're still holding on to those things. Yeah, we do that 10 years, 20 years back. That is one. The second is when they are happening in real time. There could be people who are going through abuse, through difficult situations like this, where they have no control. Yeah, in fact, actually, Viktor Frankl said that the true transformation happens when you have no control over the external situation. That's when your attitude changes in the most tremendous, in the most powerful way. Yeah. So you think of it, this could be happening to some of us in real time. Yeah. So on one hand, we are not able to forgive and let go of the things happening 20 years, 30 years, 40 years back. On the other hand, it could be happening in real time. And that was what was happening for Viktor Frankl. That was what was happening for Nelson Mandela for 20 some years. Still they were able to forgive in real time. If you read their books, they were able to find meaning and forgive in real time, and not even wait for the whole incident to be over and then look back and try to forgive. Isn't that awesome? Isn't that powerful? Yeah. Yeah, I'll just give you a moment to digest that, to absorb that. No? Agreed. See, one is those mundane things that we still hold on to. One is these big things. One is things of the past that we are still not able to let go. One is when it is happening in real time. How do we forgive in real time as it's happening? Isn't that interesting? Yeah, so when we search for the meaning, when we look for what is the hidden message, as we try to uncover that, and we realize that hidden message, that hidden information is there for me to grow, to find the true purpose in my life, then I will be able to forgive. Because then, really speaking, Kanisha, I was just thinking that there is nothing to forgive, because that situation, that adversity, if you will, doesn't remain an adversity, but becomes an opportunity.
Yeah. And also this understanding that whatever situation we are in and whatever person we are coming in contact with, there is something. That is why we are in contact with that person. We have to settle something. And also maybe that person is coming in our life to teach us something. So we need to focus on what I can learn from this situation, what I can learn from this person, instead of thinking about, oh, this person is harming me, this person is doing this to me. So we need to change our perception, how we look at the situation. And meditation is really a beautiful tool that brings about change in the way we look at things. We begin to look only and only at the beauty of the situation, not getting stuck with what is not right, but getting really focusing our attention to what I can learn and what I can really get out of the situation. So
We can,
every person is like a teacher for me. It's come to teach me something.
yeah, you
And
know,
it's my choice. It's my choice whether I want to learn or I want to just, you know, be like
so
that.
we can call it like a kaleidoscopic, yeah, ability to see things, like a kaleidoscope. Yeah, that
Yeah.
every turn of the kaleidoscope has a beautiful new image for us to enjoy. Similarly, in life, every moment has something new to teach me, to show to me.
Yeah. And Vicky has written beautiful statement here. When we are no longer able to change a situation, we are challenged to change ourselves.
Yeah, that's what Viktor Frankl has said. Yeah, thank you for sharing. When we are no longer able to change the situation, we are challenged to change ourselves. Yeah, awesome. So think of it. Normally, if there is a situation that we can't change, how helpless do we feel? But in that helplessness, actually, the potential lies for us to change ourselves completely, change our attitude completely. Yeah, awesome. Let's move on to G, giving. Yeah, to
Yeah.
give. Yeah, and I liked what you said. Our DNA, our genes are like that of God, and God is a giver, a bestower. How can I um, just demand all the time? So going from being a consumer to a contributor, going from being a beggar to a king, a wealthy king who is always giving, always bestowing. Yeah, that's why we call this Raj Yoga. You become the king. You can become the king, you become the master of the self, but also become royal in a way, like a king. King doesn't go out begging. Whoever comes at his door, the king will give a whole bunch of gold coins or maybe some diamond necklaces. That's how kings do. So if I am a king, then I shouldn't wait for the others to come to me for asking for forgiveness or yeah, asking for apologies or anything like that. My demands will not be for the outer world, but rather I'll be able to give. Yeah.
So that we need to really connect ourselves to the purpose in life. You know, we when we talk about spirituality is about meaning and purpose. So in meditation, that's what we focus on. What is the meaning? What is the purpose? Why I am here for? I am here just to eat, sleep, and drink. That animals also do. But I am here for a very special purpose. I am here to give. I am here to give, and I am here to share peace, share love, share happiness, not to take.
Awesome. Shall we move forward to innocent? I for innocent.
Yeah.
In a way, this is the law of karma, the drama of life, which Dr. Tangam was also sharing earlier. And the law of karma tells us that whatever we are receiving right now is the fruit of our actions that we have performed in the past. So if we are getting something negative right now, quote unquote negative, really speaking, in the grand scheme of things, there's nothing negative. But if we want to call it negative, it is probably something that we did in the past. So we are just getting the fruits of it right now. So we shouldn't worry, we shouldn't complain. That's where the fortitude comes, right? That yeah, we have no one else to blame other than our own past actions, and the fact that the present is because of our past actions and our future is because of our present actions too, in a way that if I fix my present actions, then my future will be fixed. Yeah, I cannot do anything about the past, but what I'm receiving in this moment, how do I respond to this, is going to determine the future. Yeah, the law of karma. But also to understand, Kanisha, you wanted to talk about innocent, right? You were sharing that, yeah, that in the grand scheme of things, in this play of life, in a way, everybody's innocent. You want to say something about that?
Yeah. So one thing is to understand our own innocence, that I am an innocent, I am truly innocent being. And then the other thing is to understand that everyone around me is also innocent. Everyone is on a journey. Everyone is on this, on this path. So somebody is For example, if you're walking, maybe you are over there. From there, you are able to see a lot of things. But the person who is behind you is still walking, is still distant from you. But eventually, that person will reach where you are, and what you are able to see from there, the person will be able to see that in a moment. So you have to give that person some time, some space. So this understanding, this is a beautiful understanding that everyone everyone is going to reach there, but you just have to be patient and you have to be understanding.
Yeah,
let,
also.
let them walk in their own pace, let them take their time.
Yeah, but also that each one's role is unique. And just like in a movie, you have a hero and a villain, and villain is equally important, yeah, as a hero, because the villain then, kind of highlights the values that the hero holds, or wants to exhibit in that movie, show in that movie. So the villain has a very important role too. So when we understand that, then all those who are doing wrong things, then we begin to understand that they have a purpose too. In a way, unless if you understand yin and yang, if you understand this negative positive concept, that you really can't um, can't develop that kind of gratitude, if you will, for goodness, that respect for goodness, if there's no bad. Yeah. Or like, for example, you have a wonderful sunny day, yeah, but you can't really appreciate that unless you've seen winter days, autumn days, or rainy days, right? So in order to appreciate good, you have to be able to have bad, in a way, so the in a way, we should be grateful to, and appreciative for those who are ready to play those roles of villains, yeah, who are giving us the opportunity to understand and appreciate goodness, and to be able to understand and appreciate God as well, right? The higher force, to connect to the higher force. There are so many stories of people who have written, those small notes or things like that, of people from these concentration camps or genocides, of how, and in that moment, it helped them connect to God, to their inner goodness, and to some universal consciousness, right? In ways that they had never imagined before. Yeah. So in a way, this whole drama of life is innocent. Yeah, there's a purpose behind it, if you will. I don't know if the word innocent is making sense, but I'm not able to come up with a better word, I guess, right, Kanisha? Do you think there's a better word that is coming in your mind?
So when we
With,
talk about virtues, maybe we will talk more about the
yeah,
quality.
yeah, Rishita has said, I've read this quote before: change your perception, create a new perspective, and cultivate greater clarity. And that's true even in this. Yeah, if you change your perception, you don't see negative as negative, yeah, but you see it as an opportunity for you to grow, or opportunity for you to connect to the higher force. Yeah, all
Yeah.
right. Dr. Tangam, innocent is purity. Yes, yeah, yeah, wonderful. All right, and then shall we go to virtues and values? B?
Yeah. So yeah, virtues and values. So we need to understand that we all are virtuous beings. The very essence of us is that we are pure beings. We are here to share our values, to share our virtues. And one of the virtues that will really help us to cultivate forgiveness in our lives is the quality of acceptance. Accept people as they are instead of having expectations. mm, Accept them as they are, with this understanding that everyone is innocent, everyone is on his or her own path. Mm. So the virtue of acceptance, and then virtue of purity. Everyone is pure, because here in this Raj Yoga meditation, our main focus is who am I. And when we understand this, that I am a peaceful being, I am a pure being, I am not this physical body, but I am beyond this. I am that metaphysical being who is continuously, who has access, who has full access to all these beautiful qualities. And if I stay connected to these qualities, I am able to generate the positive energy. And if I keep generating this positive energy on a regular basis, that energy also includes the energy of forgiveness. So over time, I will be filled with this energy, and then it will become natural for me. It will become natural for me to generate this energy not only for myself, but to start to overflow with it. And then I don't even have to think about that this person did this to me, that person did that to me. That energy will continuously, automatically be generated. The energy of compassion, especially the energy of compassion.
Yeah.
Unless we are compassionate towards other beings, we won't be able to forgive anyone.
Love and compassion.
Compassion, all these energies are so important.
And that ties in with the E, the empowerment, connecting to the source, connecting to God, who is the source of all energies, source of all powers. We like to call that source as an ocean, yeah, an ocean of love, ocean of compassion, ocean of forgiveness. And if you think about it, it truly, there are so many things that you probably have done in your lifetime that many times you would be ashamed of sharing with anyone. You're ashamed of sharing with yourself sometimes, right? What did I do done? Yeah, but then you see that God, that higher energy, the source, is always able to forgive us, always able to accept us as we are, give us unconditional love. So if we see that in God, and we are children of God, we are created from the same DNA, if you will, yeah, the same genes, the same image, yeah, that people say that God created us in his own image, then we can also mm, create that energy of love and compassion, just like God has for us, forgiveness for us. We can create the same energy of forgiveness for others. Yeah,
Yeah.
agreed? All right. So, any questions, any thoughts? I think just to recap, actually, Girish has created a PowerPoint slide which we can display at the end. But I thought we can take a moment to show that this couple of tiny video clips, Kanisha. Is that okay? We're running out of time.
Yeah. So if nobody has any questions, then we can show them the video.
So maybe we can show them the video and then they will have some questions.
Yeah,
Maybe.
sure.
Okay, let's do this. Share screen.
Thangam, Thangam has she has shared that look at others from God's perspective. Yeah, that's very important. That higher perspective that will really help us in our lives.
Give me a moment. I guess it got closed. All right, here it is. So again, it is a clip from Kung Fu Panda. I guess it is the uh, Kung Fu Panda 2 or 3. All right. There are two video clips that I want to share with you all. Okay, wait, let me do this. Stop share. Share again. Make sure it is share computer sound. And to be now. So what do you choose to be now? The one who forgives or one who holds grudges? Thank you. Any questions? Any comments? Anyone who wants to comment will need to let us know, then we can share or unmute for you. Actually, we have a very senior meditation teacher with us as well. I didn't realize. Yeah. Carbon, are you still with us? She's from New York. We would love to hear your insights as well. Yeah. Kathleen has said very good lesson. Carmen, are you still there?
Maybe she's busy, otherwise she would have
No, let
answered.
me unmute her.
Intend to be here. I got here accidentally.
No, that's fine. We would love to hear your insights too. You know, Carmen was a registered nurse for quite a while now, retired. She lives in Bronx, right, in New York.
Yes, I do.
Oh, that's such a lovely surprise for us. Yeah, we would love to hear from you what your insights are on this.
Mm. I was just enjoying your sharing. It was just so beautiful. But I was thinking about the word forgiving. And I was thinking, as Candice Ben said earlier, that it's for giving. One of the things I used to hear of forgiving, it's giving something for in place of. So someone has hurt you, and what do you give in place of that hurt? And the most beautiful thing to give in place of that hurt is love. So it's giving love for the pain, giving love so I experience love and give you back love for the pain I experienced from the encounter that we had. So that was something I was thinking about. But the whole aspect of, when we don't forgive, we have really kept ourselves in bondage. We have first hurt ourselves. So the importance of forgiving is first for me and then for the other, no matter what the situation is. So that's what I'd just like to share.
Thank you. That was really awesome. Giving for, it's almost like a return gift. Like when, you go to a birthday party or something and give a gift and then they give, right? That's how it happens. Yeah. And they give you a gift in return. So if somebody has gifted you hurt, then what do you give in return?
You give.
Beautiful. That was awesome. Thank you so much, Carmen.
You're welcome.
All right. If anybody else has anything else to comments or ask.
I think Itala wants to say something.
Can someone unmute her?
Yeah, I unmuted. Yeah, please, Itala, please, you can go ahead.
Yeah, that I think the essence is that you can achieve true freedom through forgiveness.
Exactly. That's the only way to experience true freedom. Yes, thank you, Tara. So here there is a question, how to forgive but not be a doormat. Carmen, we would love you to answer that. Carmen, you have had such a lovely practice of meditation for so many years. We would love you to answer that. Somebody has asked this question, how to forgive but not be a doormat.
We're forgiving, but we're not forgiving as though we don't understand. And it takes a very powerful soul to forgive. So if you're not a powerful person, then you will become a doormat. And when we become doormats, it's really because we were having a lot of expectations from the other. We have a lot of desires that we need to be met. We have needs that we expect others to fulfill. And so we become subservient to that other. And so when we are subservient, then we already make ourselves doormat. And actually, if you are in a place where you're going to allow yourself to be a doormat, you truly can't forgive because you don't have the power to forgive. All right. So once you have the power to truly forgive, it means you're able to rise beyond the desires and the needs and being subservient to someone else. You know, so when we get hurt from through an interaction with someone or through a relationship with someone, when we get hurt, actually, that hurt is usually indicating that I had needs and desires to be fulfilled by that person. And that's why they were really in a position to really hurt me. And so if I don't have needs, if I don't have desires, I can easily forgive you and rise beyond the potential for getting hurt in the future. So when we become doormats, it's because we're subservient to others, and they will continue to hurt us, or we will continue to be hurt through that relationship.
That's beautiful sharing. Thank you very much. Thank you. I know you're getting these phone calls, but
I'm sorry. And I'm trying to stop it. It won't even stop. Sorry about that.
that's perfect. I need to put you on the spot, but
No,
yeah,
that's it.
thank you so much. Yeah, did that help you, Veena? That helped you? Yeah, wonderful. All right. Actually, we have, so Swati has also shared, takeaway point from today's session for me is use, forgive and forget. Awesome. Yeah, and tool so often that and use that tool very often so that it becomes natural and then there's no struggle. Yeah, thank you, Swati, for sharing. And we have Marcelo today with us. Yeah, Marcelo always has something nice to share. I don't know if you are, we don't see you, but would you like us to unmute you? I have unmuted you if you want to share something. Would you like to say something, Marcelo?
Shanti, brother, can you hear me?
Yes.
Can you hear me? Good. Sorry, I'm in a computer that the camera is not working, but good. The microphone is working. To me, what's most pressing is the timeliness of today's topic. This week, Baba has been playing with me by, no, not playing, he has been doing something else. He has been inviting me to take the opportunity to get better in one thing. And very specifically, very shortly, I am in Florida. Obviously, COVID and all of that scared, but the trip down was difficult. My GPS increased my trip in 1 hour, and I dropped something and broke water in an apartment, and all sorts of things going on. And I am noticing all those things, not with my typical annoyance, which is a thing so common to many of us. Life doesn't happen the way we want, therefore we get angry and we get resentful towards others, towards the circumstances and everything. And I'm thinking that Baba is saying, guess what? It's time for us for you in particular, to get better at this. So this week we are working. So this is no longer a challenge, it's an opportunity. So to me, the timeliness of today's session is really on observing things that happen to me, not as challenges, but as opportunities, because I am ready to get past them. I just have to go through the exercise. So I'm really grateful for it.
Awesome, awesome, Marcelo. And so Marcelo was saying about Baba, and when we talked about empowerment and connecting to the source, the highest force, God, we call him with love, Baba. Baba as our father, as the father of the entire universe, of all of mankind. All right, thank you. And so now Girish is going to share the screen. Yeah, and what we will also do, I don't know, Carmen, are you busy? Would you have the time to take us through the meditation, through the meditation commentary on forgiveness? At the end, I think she's there, she's still here. If you want to, we don't, I know you're not prepared, but if you want to, yeah, you can.
Okay.
Yeah,
Yeah,
we have.
Mhm.
a few minutes, right? So, Girish, could you please share the screen? Yes. Yes. Just made the slide. Forgive first, F first me, zero oneness. So O is oneness. R is being responsible. G is giving. I is innocent. V virtues, values, and E is empowerment. Yeah. And so here is a blessing for everyone. Kanishta, would you like to read the blessing for everyone?
This is a special blessing or forgiveness for everyone. Understanding, trusting, forgiving, acknowledging, all are expression of who you truly are. Love. So we all are loving beings, loving and compassionate beings.
Yes. Thank you, Kirish, for sharing that. All right. So can we end with Carmen taking us through a meditation experience? We want to take the full benefit of Carmen today. Yeah, since we have caught you today. All right.
Okay, so let's just become very comfortable. Can you hear my voice okay?
Very clearly.
Okay, very good. Allow the body to be comfortable, relaxed. See that there's no tension in any part of the body. Starting with the feet, just see that they're relaxed. Move your attention up. See the part you're sitting on the chair, your buttocks, it's relaxed. Move up the back. No tension in the back. Across the shoulders, the neck, the back of the head. The top of the head, the face, the jaws. Just allow yourself to put a beautiful smile on your face, ensuring that your face muscles are relaxed. And the forehead. Just observe your breath. See that you're breathing comfortably. Allow the breath to come to a natural, easy rhythm. Just see what thought is going on in your mind. Just let go of anything that is still of concern to you. If you heard anything in this session that you're not too clear about, or you don't quite agree with, for right now, just let that go. You can go back to it later. Let go of anything of the past. Anything you're still holding from the past, just let that go. And so as you breathe in, feel that you're breathing in the beauty of the universe. And you're breathing out anything that is negative, that doesn't serve you. It's of no benefit. Just breathe in peace. Breathe in lightness. Breathe out any trace of heaviness, confusion, conflict, grudge. Just let that go. Now, just let go of everything of the world outside for just a moment, giving yourself permission to enjoy the gift of this beautiful moment, the gift to be with yourself, and to enjoy the beauty of the self. And let's just focus on the blessing that you just got and see yourself as that beautiful being of love. That is the being that is sitting inside this body right now, behind the eyes, in the center of the forehead, that is looking out into the world, experiencing the world, experiencing the scenes and the dramas, using the instrument of the eyes of the body. But become aware that this one that is observing is who I am. This being that is full of love. This being, I was just told, is a child of God. This being that is full of the qualities of my parent, the Supreme. This is the truth of who I am. And in the awareness that I am full of love, in the awareness that I am the child of God, in that awareness, I realize I am lacking nothing and desiring nothing, but I am full, I am complete. And being full and complete, I have all that I need to share with others, to give to others. In the awareness that I am complete, I need nothing from anyone. And therefore, I am not vulnerable to be influenced negatively by anyone. And should anything that is undesirable come toward me, I have the ability to give love, to have compassion, to be merciful, and to be forgiving to others. A being that is full of love can only give love. A being that is full of love is always protected by that love and can only have good wishes and pure feelings towards others, only want the best for others. A being that is full of love does not allow the self to remain in pain, but that love is powerful enough to hold the love for myself first, meaning I value myself, I respect myself. And in that state, all I want to do is to transform anything that has come to me that could cause me hurt. And to recognize that every scene that comes to me to serve me, to benefit me, to enable me to rise to another level where I'm free from the influences of situations down below. A being that is full of love, see only through the eyes of love. And therefore I'm able to see others who are all my brothers and sisters with love. See them with compassion. See them with mercy. See them with forgiveness. And in forgiving others, I'm allowing myself to forgive myself, to love myself, to respect myself, and to value my own royalty and dignity. I hold these thoughts. I connect to my Supreme Parent, who is always forgiving. And like my parent, God, I too have to be like him, only forgiving. So as I hold these thoughts and I prepare to go back to my roles and responsibilities, to my relationships, and engage in whatever tasks I have, I go knowing that my part here, my purpose here, is forgiving. Forgiving love, forgiving peace, forgiving compassion, forgiving light. And I allow myself to breathe. And I feel that pure energy of love as it flows through me, as it surrounds me, and as it goes out from me to touch all others in the world. This is the gift I give to myself and the gift I give to others. Om Shanti.
Oh, Shanti. Thank you, Carmen. What a gift. What a gift. You coming on and doing such a lovely meditation experience for us. What a gift for all of us. Thank you, truly, from the heart.
Thank you. Sheer accident.
But there are no accidents.
No accidents.
It was
Okay, thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Carmen, for sharing your beautiful words of wisdom and sharing your light, sharing your powerful vibrations with all of us. Thank you.
It's my gift to myself.
Thank you everyone for attending, and I hope you all enjoyed it. I know I did. Thank you, Sister Kanishta and Brother Shwetang, for a great session. And thank you, Sister Carmen, as well. What I learned today is that forgiveness is a big part of life. With each act of forgiveness, whether it's small or big, you find peace along with whoever or whatever you've forgiven. Forgiving and letting go may be hard, but it is certainly possible. Each of us should strive for forgiveness and attaining peace. So, forgiveness isn't approving what happened, but rather rising above it. If you have any more questions, please feel free to reach out. You can reach the Brahmakumaris with their email or phone number. I hope this has been a powerful and insightful experience for you all. Om Shanti.
Om Shanti. Thank you. Thank you. And was anyone able to send the link for the newcomers? Is there anyone new left in this right now? I see a couple of new people. I guess I'm not sure who they are. It's Galaxy J3 and iPhone. So, Girish, if you could please send that link into the chat box. We would love to connect with you. We would love to be able to let you know of future events just like this. We do it almost every weekend. So if you want more information, then please let us know. Yeah, you can fill that form. If not, that's perfectly fine. You're welcome to join us. Just like you have come to know about this event, you'll come to know about the rest of the events too. The universe will let you know. All right, I guess. Huh? All right, thank you very much. Om Shanti.
Thank you, everyone, for joining. Om Shanti. Good night.
Again, thank you again, Carmen. And yeah, everyone. Om Shanti.